We begin on page 7.
אני ממס, נרעש ונפחד, מפחד יושב תהילות ישראל. באתי לעמוד ולחנן לפניך, על עמך ישראל, אשר שלחוני, אף על פי שנכדי ואגור לך, על כן אבקשך, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל, ואלוהי לאה. אדוני, אדוני, אל רחום וחנון, אלוהי ישראל, שנה יום נורא, אינו מצליח דרכי, אשר אנוכי הולך לעמוד ולבקש, רחמים עלי ועל שולחי. נא אל תפשיים בחטאותיי, ואל תכוון בעוונותיי, כי חוטא ופושע אני. ואל יקלמו בפשעי, ואל אבוא שבהם, וקבל תפילתי, כי תפילת זקן ורגיל, ופרקו נעים, וקולו נעים, ומעורב ודעת עם הבריות. ברוך אתה שומע תפילה.
Here I am, so poor in deeds I tremble in fear, overwhelmed and apprehensive before you, to whom Israel sings praise. Although unworthy, I rise to pray and seek favor for your people Israel, for they have entrusted me with this task. Therefore, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, Adonai, Adonai, merciful, gracious God of Israel, who inspires awe, I pray to you for success on my path. I pray for myself and my community. Do not hold them responsible for my wrongs and offenses. May my deeds cause them no shame, and may their deeds cause me no shame. Accept my prayer as though it were offered by one more worthy of this task, a scholar, proficient in prayer, unblemished in character, pleasing in voice. Let love be our banner, let it banish our wrongs. May Israel's strife and misfortunes be turned into joy, renewed life and peace. Love, peace, and truth, may they prevail among us, and may there be no impediment to my prayer. Adonai, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, great, mighty, awe-inspiring, God Most High, who said to Moses, I will be what I will be. May it be your will that my prayer reach your presence for the sake of the righteous and blameless, the honest and pure of heart, for the sake of your glory. You hear your people's prayer with compassion. Blessed are you, the one who hears prayer.
Here I am, one soul within this prayer community. Like those around me, I bring my own concerns and yearnings to this place, hoping they will find expression in the time-hallowed words of my people and in the traditions cherished by generations before me. May I bring the best of my energies to these holy days, approaching this spiritual work with open heart and mind, sincerity and sustained focus on the deep questions of this season. Who am I? How shall I live? Where have I fallen short or failed? This night, I take up the challenge of the days of awe, Cheshbon HaNefesh, a searching examination of my life, a moral inventory of my deeds, words, and thoughts. During the next 10 days, let me face the truth about myself and listen to your still, small voice. Taking comfort in your promise that I am always free to change, released from staleness and routine, let me know the joy of beginning again. May I gain strength as I share this task with those around me, united by your common purpose. Tikkun midot, improving our characters, and tikkun olam, repairing the world. Now I prepare myself to pray, one soul amidst this holy congregation.
We continue on page 5b. This autumn night, the shades of darkness in the sky are signs of the earth's turning, the fleeting ways of nature. And we, drawn together in this holy house, filled with New Year's hope and light, turn our hearts toward you in prayer, in worship, seeking life's essence. We read together, in the presence of your love, we feel the nearness of those who bless our lives, even in death. Precious memories of their love restore our strength, renew our faith in life's goodness. We acknowledge with gratitude the life you have given us, the bounty that sustains us, your comfort in sickness and sorrow, your compassion in valleys of despair. God of years, God of eternity, bless us now and always. Bless our homes and our families. Be with us in our dreams and in our hopes. Be with us through these days of awe as we search our souls within and seek the lasting shelter of your love. Turn back now to page 2 for the lighting of the Yom Tov lights, page 2b.
The first mitzvah in the Torah is Yehi, or let there be light. So we are commanded, in everything you do, be a menorah, a bringer of light. Live with honor, act with integrity, do your work with passion, and the radiance of your deeds will live after you. May our ideals burn bright, forever unextinguished, and may we live our lives like the flames we kindle, always stretching upward, striving for the good, reaching for you. To fulfill the mitzvah that you have commanded us to light the candle on holy days, may it be your will, eternal our God and God of those who came before us, that you multiply in this house the light of joy, of blessing and peace, and a good unclouded life, that you fill our souls with light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Yom Tov.
We continue on page 6. Baruch atah Adonai, shomea kol truat amo Yisrael berachamim. Blessed are you in our lives, Eternal One who hears with love the shofar, the true voice of your people Israel.
Yom
on page 8b. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, yehi ratzon sheniskei levirchotecha, shnat chameshet alafim u'shva me'ot v'shivim u'shmona. Our God and God of our ancestors, may we know your blessings in the year 5778. Eternal One, bless us and the whole house of Israel with renewed life and peace, happiness and peace, comfort and courage, resilience and strength. May the words of our heart be acceptable to you in the new year that stretches before us. We are forever grateful for the gift of life. On page 9. If one prays with the tongue, but the heart is occupied with unrelated matters, one's prayer is like a body without a soul, like a shell that is empty of substance. To what may we compare this? It is like the case of a man who invited his employer to dine at home with him. The man charged all the members of his household to serve his employer and attend to his needs. But the man left the house to occupy himself elsewhere. So it is with us when we pray by rote, without concentrating on the words we utter. The Baal Habayit, the master of the house, is our mind, which directs our eyes to look at the Siddur, our lips to pronounce the prayers, and our limbs to stand, sit, or bow through the service. But when our mind is elsewhere, of what value is our prayer? May we enter into worship with kavanah, with attentive mind and focused heart, fully present in this moment of prayer. We rise.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
You can be seated. On page 10b. Bless Adonai, who spins day into dusk. With wisdom, watch the dawn gates open. With understanding, let time and seasons come and go. With awe, perceive the stars in lawful orbit. We read together. Morning dawns, evening darkens, darkness and light yielding one to the other, yet each distinguished and unique. Marvel at life, strive to know its ways, seek wisdom and truth, the gateways to life's mysteries. Wondrous indeed is the evening twilight. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of twilight and dusk.
Amat olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Torah mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta. Hayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negeh yomam v'layla ve'amatechem להסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה, אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווה לך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Hi, Elohim, Emet. Page 15b. Mitzrayim is not just a place on an ancient map where a narrow strait blocks the way between two seas. Mitzrayim is a place in us where a narrow strait blocks the sea, which is our soul, from reaching the sea, which is its source. Page 17.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, מלכותך ראו פניך, וכהים לפני משה ומרים, זרי ענו ואמרו. נאמר, כי פטרנו את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, יד ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו, Shalom. Ve'amitenu malkeinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shelomecha. ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך. והגן בידינו Aged bateinu atinu lechased meyaleinu oye teve v'cherem הרחק ממנו עוון, עוון, והפשע, עוון, ושמו צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום. מעתה
Cause us, our eternal God, to lie down in peace. Then raise us up, O Sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Restore us to the right path through your good counsel. And for your name's sake, be our help. Be our shield. Turn away enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Subdue our inclination to evil. God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful ruler, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. Guard us as we set forth and return, that we may live in peace now and always. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who spreads a shelter of peace over us, over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem. Please rise. We turn to page 20 for Chatzi Kaddish.
יתקדש שמי רבם, דברי חירותי, וימליך מלכותי. בחייך וביומך ובחייך בית ישראל. בגאולה ובזמן קריב אמרו יהי שמך ברוך לעולם ולעולמי יתברך, ישתבח, יתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשם. לילה, לילה, מן הכל דרכתה ושירתה. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Ribotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim, Tovim. וקונה יעקב, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם. עד שבוא מושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני. מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני. מחיה כל התורה להושיע. מוריד אתה. מחלקל חיים וחסד. מחיי הכל רחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים. ומתיר אסורים. ומקיים אמונתו ישני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות. ומי דומה מלך מימית ולחיי ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אל רחמים זוכר צורות לחיים ורחמים. ונאמרת לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
You can be seated, and we'll continue on page 24B.
In your holiness, give all creation the gift of awe. Turn our fear to reverence. Let us be witnesses of wonder, perceiving all nature as a prayer come alive. We bow to the sovereignty of your strength, the primacy of your power. We yearn for connection with all that lives, doing your will with levav shalem, wholeness of heart. Awe-inspiring is your creation, all-encompassing your transcendent name.
In your holiness, give your people the gift of honor. Bless with praise those who praise you. Bless with hope those who seek you. Give your believers a basis for faith, true happiness for the land of Israel, true joy in Jerusalem. May the sparks of David, your servant, soon grow bright enough for us to see, a beam of light in the darkness, a promise of perfection.
We continue on page 26B. Through us, our sovereign, you have made your aspirations known. You loved us and chose us to be the vessels of your mitzvot. Among all the spoken tongues, you lifted us, set us apart, brought us close to you to serve you, and made your great holy name our calling. We'll read together on page 27. Eternal our God, in your love, you gave us this day of remembrance, a day for the shofar's joyful sound, a day of sacred assembly, a day to be mindful of our people's exodus from Egypt. Our God and God of our parents, May a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor. May it reach your awareness, together with the memory of our fathers and mothers, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for deliverance, well-being, and favor, for love and companion, for life and peace. Eternal our God, on this day of memory. Zochrenu Adonai Eloheinu, Bo L'Tova.
Zochreinu Adonai Eloheinu bo l'tova.
Amen.
This day remember us for well-being.
Amen.
This day bless us with your nearness.
Amen.
This day help us to live.
Amen. Favor us with words of deliverance and mercy. Show us the depth of your care. God, we await your redemption, for you reign with compassion and love. Page 30. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkenu b'toratecha, sabenu mituvecha v'samchenu b'shuatecha, v'taher libenu le'ovdecha be'emet, ki ata Elohim emet, v'dvarcha emet v'kayam la'ad. Our God and God of our fathers and mothers together, lead us to holiness through your mitzvot, and may each of us find a portion of Torah that is ours. You bestow such goodness. Teach us to be satisfied and to know the joy of your salvation. Help us to serve you truly with purity of heart, for you are a faithful God whose truth stands forever. Baruch atah Adonai, Melech al kol haaretz mikadesh Yisrael v'yom hazikaron. Our praise to you, eternal one, whose power pervades all the earth. You bring holiness to the people of Israel and to this day of remembrance.
Retzei Adonai Eloheinu ve'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatan mi'ahava tikaber u'tehi ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael Amecha El Torah Lecha Torah Panei Elevetecha Bechoneinu Shifach Rochecha ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון. ברחמים Baruch atah Adonai
Page 32B. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Together we say, Modim Anachnu Lach, for this fragile planet, Earth, its times and its tides, its sunsets and seasons, Modim Anachnu Lach, for the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, Modim Anachnu Lach, for human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. Modim Anachnu Lach, for high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. Modim Anachnu Lach, for all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. Modim Anachnu Lach, for human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. Modim Anachnu Lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears but by our hopes, not by our words but by our deeds. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha na'el hodot. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose goodness deserves praise and thanksgiving. Page 34.
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam, ki atahu melech Adon, lekul hashalom, letov b'nenecha, l'chaim Israel, Mekol et Mekosha, Bishlomecha.
בספר חיים, ברכה ושלום, ברכה ושלום, ופרנסה טובה, ניזכר וניכתב לפניך. אנחנו בכל עמך, בית ישראל, לחיים טובים, לחיים טובים ושלום.
Shalom,
בספר
Israel,
ברכה ושלום, ברכה ושלום,
כי atahu
melech טובה, להיזכר להיכתב לפניך. אנחנו בכל עמך, בית ישראל, לחיים טובים, לחיים טובים ושלום, שלום.
Inscribe us in the book of life, blessing and peace. Baruch atah Adonai,
pause now for a moment of silent prayer. The opportunity to lift our eyes from the printed page and to lift our souls heavenward. We'll take an extended silence now, each with their own prayerful thoughts.
יהיו רצון ברפי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri Begawali, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri Begawali.
Mishaberach Avotenu, Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov, Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah, Hu Yivarech et Cholim. We ask God's blessing now upon all those who are sick and in need of healing. I'm going to come down the aisle, and as I pass by on this way up and on the other side coming down, if there's someone who you know who is sick and in need of healing, I'm going to ask you to call out their names, and we'll fill the Sheit Tefillah with the names of our loved ones.
Cross, Gans, Blank, Costello.
Dave Nelson, Julie Steiner.
Kadosh Baruch Hu yivarech otam, v'yiten lahem refuah shlema, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf. We pray that the Holy Blessed One will send to each of these people whom we've named and to all those who are in need of healing, complete healing, healing of body and of spirit. And let us all say, Amen. You follow the prayer for healing on page 37b.
Mishaberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Mishaberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Verachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mishaberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Mishaberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Verachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mishaberach Avotenu, Mishaberach Imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
I'm going to invite now Matthew Lefkowitz and Kamolio to come to the bima and open the ark. We continue on page 38b. And we rise.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Hatanu Lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Alevota, Uasti, Me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Kadesh Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Shana Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Aleinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Aleinu, Avinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim, Aseh imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed, ve'oshienu. Aseh imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed, ve'oshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim.
It has been hard to approach these high holy days without thinking about Charlottesville and the palpable change that it represents for how minorities are regarded in our country and the divisiveness that has grown exponentially in American society. The re-emergence and ascendancy of white supremacy and fascism so recently thought to be expressions of a fringe minority, have been frightening for us. For well we remember the suffering visited upon our parents and grandparents during the Shoah and their first years here in America. So when I have been thinking about Charlottesville, I have been thinking less about the content and more about the context of the encounter. Charlottesville was about memory, and in particular, about the role of statues and memorials in remembering events in the nation's history. The debate was over whether taking down Confederate monuments was an attempt to erase our history or an attempt to reframe the teaching of our history. The mayor of New Orleans, Mitch Landrieu, spoke recently about history and what it is we need to remember upon the removal of the last of several Confederate monuments in his city. He said, "The soul of our beloved New Orleans is deeply rooted in a history that has evolved over thousands of years, rooted in a diverse people who have been here together every step of the way. And there are truths about the charming, jazz-filled city of New Orleans that we have preferred not to discuss openly. That it was America's largest slave market, a port where hundreds of thousands of souls were bought, sold, and shipped up the Mississippi River to lives of forced slavery. America was the place where nearly 4,000 of our fellow citizens were lynched, where the courts enshrined separate but equal, and freedom riders lost their lives. As tributes to Confederate generals were removed to be relocated from main thoroughfares to Confederacy cemeteries and museums, the New Orleans mayor asked, "Why are there no slave ship monuments? No prominent markers on public lands to remember lynchings or slave blocks? Why is there nothing to remember this long chapter of history for which we now feel shame? Why are there no monuments showing resilience to slavery? There is a big difference between remembrance of history and a reverence for only one side of history." The monuments at Charlottesville were Jefferson Davis, President of the Confederacy, and Confederate Generals Robert E. Lee and P.G.T. Beauregard. These statues were not only erected to honor these men for the pride they brought to the South, but also, and somewhat less known, as part of the movement which became known as the Cult of the Lost Cause. This cult had one goal: through monuments and other means as well, to rewrite history, to hide or to overshadow the truth, which is that the Confederacy, though some might consider it to have been glorious in moments, was on the wrong side of humanity. In the weeks before the war broke out, the Vice President of the Confederacy, Alexander Stephens, made it clear in his cornerstone speech that the Confederate cause was about maintaining slavery and white supremacy. These monuments placed in the public sphere down main avenues purposefully celebrate a fictional, sanitized Confederacy, ignoring the death, ignoring the enslavement of human beings. The violent reaction to removing these statues glorifying generals of the Confederacy was not about politics. It was not about patriotism. It was not about preserving heritage. The violent reaction was about the fear of telling the truth about slavery and the deep imprint of racial profiling and discrimination that still runs in the nation's blood. A few years back, I traveled to Berlin with a group of Bay Area rabbis in the company of the German Consul General. Thinking back on that experience, I'm aware of the different ways that history can be remembered. There are many statues and memorials in Berlin commemorating events of the Second World War, but you do not see any statues of Hitler. The streets have no personified images of evil. Instead, the public areas have monuments and sculptures reminding German citizens about what happened in that terrible time. Children in German schools have school projects where they research the names on the tiles in front of the Berlin apartments and homes of Jews who lived there before being rounded up by the Nazis. The school children learn the names of these Jews and write up their biographies. Germany has accepted its sin, owned what was done in its name by powerful leaders and simple soldiers. Germany has acknowledged that it was evil and not to be honored. History is not erased in Germany. Rather, it is taught honestly, the full story revealed, and I would add, courageously so. They have taken stock of a painful part of their history, and by doing so moved forward with integrity and wholeness. Young Germans today know what was done under the guise of making Germany powerful again in their grandparents' generation. They know that it was immoral. In taking ownership of their history, they have given themselves hope to stand upright and live their lives not eternally branded by the choices of those who came before them. Relocating the Confederate statues in Charlottesville is about showing our citizens and our neighbors that we as a nation are able to acknowledge, understand, reconcile, and most importantly, choose a better future by making straight what has been broken and making right what was wrong. President George W. Bush, can't believe I'm quoting him, said at the dedication ceremony for the National Museum of African History and Culture, a great nation does not hide its history. It faces its flaws and corrects them. In Judaism, we call this teshuvah, and teshuvah begins with remembering. For us as Jews, remembering the past is a sacred responsibility, one that is at the core of the Jewish experience. At Pesach, we remember the exodus from Egypt. At Purim, relief from the genocide planned for us by Haman. On Shavuot, we remember standing at Sinai, and on Tisha B'Av, we commemorate the destruction of the temple and other calamities of our past. In Jewish life, there are many ways to remember. We have monuments and memorials, like those we see in the temple lobby or the bricks in the temple courtyard, to remember our loved ones and their connection to our community. And if we think of Jewish places around the city, we will take note of hospitals, seniors' residences, summer camps, and day schools that serve as monuments to their benefactors and to those whose leadership ensured their success and sustenance. One difference between these kinds of monuments and the statues in Charlottesville is that Jewish law prohibits the glorification of criminals or others who have brought shame upon themselves or their communities by their actions. Their names are not meant to be remembered in the same way. But that doesn't mean that we forget them. In Deuteronomy 25:19, we read, Timche et zecher et Amalek, lo tishchach. Erase the memory of Amalek. Do not forget. Now, Amalek was the biblical enemy of the Israelites, infamous for his practice of attacking the Israelites from the rear, victimizing the elders, the women, and the children who always traveled at the rear of the convoy for their protection. And as such, he became the prototype for all of those who have perpetrated evil upon us throughout our history. So what does it mean to erase evil but not forget? At Purim, we have a good example of this thinking. When we bring up Haman's name, we make a point of remembering him by naming his evil deeds. And simultaneously, we celebrate the triumph of good over evil as we try to erase his name with noisemakers and jeering. In some communities, there's a practice of writing Haman's name on the bottom of your shoes, deliberately writing the letters in chalk, and then deliberately stomping them off, obliterating his name. Year after year, we erase Haman even as we remember him. We also remember the good. Each week, in making Kiddush on Shabbat, we remember the creation of the world and the exodus from Egypt. Zikaron l'ma'aseh v'reishit and zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Each time we say the Birkat Hamazon, the blessing after meals, we remember and give thanks for God's bounty, for the land, and for the days of holiness and celebration. And we remember those who came before us with Yartzeit and Yizkor. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. In the Jewish tradition, we remember all of the wise decisions of the generations that came before us. In the Talmud, in the codes of Jewish law, and the commentaries of the sages of the different generations. But we also remember the minority decisions, the ones that were not accepted as mainstream and not followed as the accepted practice. Rather than erase them from our history, we record these minority opinions and the names of the rabbis who offered them as well. One of the two versions of the Ten Commandments, the one found in the book of Exodus, calls upon us to remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. For some folks, remembering is passive or reflective. But for Jews, it is meant to be active, compelling us to some prescribed action that will ultimately make the world a better place. Properly remembering the Sabbath means observing the Sabbath. And perhaps that's why the second version, the one found in Deuteronomy, says, observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Shabbat observance brings us a taste of the world to come, a sacred moment of messianic time, bringing pause and balance to a busy and not always kind world. The most repeated phrase in all of the Torah is, remember that you were slaves in the land of Egypt. 35 times the Torah tells us to remember the formative experience of the Jewish people. This single memory reminds us of God's redemptive hand in our history, of our yearning for freedom, of the responsibility we have toward the stranger in our midst, of Sabbath rest, the treatment of our employees, civic responsibility, and so much of what informs our personal and communal codes of behavior and our core values. The Jerusalem Talmud teaches, monuments need not be constructed for the righteous. Their deeds are their memorials. And so on this Rosh HaShanah, we are charged with remembering our deeds from the year that is past and focusing our attention on the many ways in which we can improve ourselves in the year ahead so that our deeds may be worthy memorials to us. This will not be easy. Tshuva is hard work, and its purpose is not to make us feel better, but to make us behave better. This requires a self-awareness which demands painful honesty. My teacher of blessed memory, Rabbi Lionel Blue, taught, to change ourselves, we have to know ourselves, and this can be frightening, and it takes a lot of courage. There are many cans of worms in all of us. We have all been the disloyal friend, the bad neighbor whom we're supposed to love, the jealous partner, and the untrustworthy child. To change ourselves also takes a lot of time, a lifetime, or even more. Tonight we begin this lifetime work by remembering. We do the work of remembering not by erasing our past, but by naming it and finding the appropriate places within and without to hold our memories and give honor to them, for the good that they can do to make us better people in the year ahead, so that we might make necessary repairs to the world in the year ahead. May it be for all of us a year of learning, knowing and doing. May it be a year of wholeness, blessing, and peace. May we come to know ourselves a little better, and may the Holy One be revealed to us in our moments of remembering, and in moments we will remember for the rest of our lives. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
We continue with Kiddush on page 41. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol am, v'romemanu mikol asham, v'kiddushanu b'mitzvotav. Vatiten lanu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava et yom hazikaron hazeh yom teruah mikra kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim, u'dvarcha emet, v'kayam le'ad. Baruch atah Adonai, melech al kol ha'aretz, mikadesh Yisrael, v'yom hazikaron. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'echianu, v'kimanu, v'higiyanu, l'azman hazeh. Please rise for Aleinu, page 42. Aleinu, l'shabeach, la'adon ha'kol, v'teit gdula li'otzel breshit, shelo asanu kegayei ha'aratzot, ve'lo zamanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahin, v'goraleinu kechol emona, v'anachnu horim u'mishtachavim u'modim.
You can be seated. We read on page 43b, may we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. Thus it has been said, Adonai will be sovereign over all the earth. On that day, Adonai will be one, and God's name will be one. On page 45. All last requests are granted, and this is mine. Grasp my affection in your hand and hold it there. Gather my affection into your heart and store it there. Draw my affection in simple lines in your mind and foster it, further it, funnel it into all the coastal plains and lowlands where daily life and memory flow together. Let the river of affection rise and overflow. Let the grasses in the meadow near the river bend in the current where my love has flooded your land. There are no yard sites that we observe on Rosh HaShanah in our community, but I'll ask if there's anyone who is observing yard site to stand. Anyone who is in Shloshim, the 30 days of mourning, to stand. Anyone who is in the year of mourning. The mourner's Kaddish Yatom is on page 46. We rise so that we stand with all those who are in mourning or who are remembering on this Yom Tov. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah,
Amen.
ve'alma divrah chirutei, ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chay d'chol Beit Yisrael, va'agala u'vizman kari v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mivorach le'olam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitboar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela u'le'ela, mikol berchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalom araba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'imrumav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. Everyone can be seated, and I'll invite to the bima, President of our congregation, Deb Braun.
So I want to thank first Rabbi and Ricky for leading us in a beautiful service, and Rabbi for your beautiful words, and thank the Nashira Choir and John Hurton for helping us also to make this occasion more meaningful and moving for us all. And not least, I want to thank all of you for being here. Thank you for being my community and our community together, and being here to pray together and have this time together. Tomorrow, we will be back here. There are family services tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And the morning service starts at 10. And after services, we'll have an oneg outside, I believe. And then after, we'll walk together to Lake Merced to do Tashlich. On Thursday, there are lots of different things. Our Southside Jewish Collaborative is offering 4 different options for day 2, if you're so inclined. At 8:45, there's a traditional conservative Rosh HaShanah service, similar to what we do here at B'nai Emunah on 46th and Teraval, and that starts at 8:45. At 10 o'clock at Nir Tamid on 22nd and Kintara, there is a Rosh Hashanah symposium. At 10 o'clock, I thought it was 10:30. There's a holiday hike with prayer and song with 10:30. 10:30. So it's printed 10 o'clock, but it's definitely 10:30. We're meeting with Rabbi Gottlieb and Ricky. We'll be meeting at the Pacifica Pier, and we're going to walk along the boardwalk there and then up to Maury Point. They're singing and reading, and it's a beautiful time to be outside and together. And then at 11 o'clock, there's also an option of a contemplative shofar service, which starts at Ocean Beach at Teraval. And that's led by Rabbi Katie and David of Or Shalom community. So those are some things you can do. This Friday night, there's no service here at BIJ, but as always, when there's not, we're welcome at B'nai Emunah on Teraval Street. And Saturday, as usual, 8:45 Torah study and 10 o'clock service here at BIJ. And just a tiny little thing, if you have this service sheet and you don't want to take it home for some reason, if you do want to take it home, you're welcome to. But if you don't, if you wouldn't mind leaving them on the table, and we'll use them again tomorrow. And I think that's it for now. So Shana Tova, and thanks for being with us tonight.
If you'll turn to page 47, at the bottom of the page, you will see the excerpt of Psalm 27, which is special for this high holiday season. One thing I ask from Adonai, one thing I seek, to dwell in Adonai's house all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of Adonai, to explore Adonai's sanctuary.
Adonai, Ota Abakesh. Achalti meit Adonai, Ota Abakesh. Tifti beveit Adonai, Kol yamei chayai, lachazot b'noam Adonai, uvaker b'hekalu. Lachazot b'noam Adonai, uvaker b'hekalu. Adonai, Ota Abakesh. Achalti beit Adonai, Ota Abakesh. Tifti beit Adonai, Kol yamei chayai, lachazot b'noam Adonai, uvaker b'hekalu. Lachazot b'noam Adonai, uvaker b'hekalu.
Our service will conclude with the singing of Yigdal on page 49. I'll ask everyone please to stand. Yehi ratzon milfanecha, Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, shetechadesh aleinu shata shana tova u'mituka. Our God and God of our ancestors, eternal God of all generations, may your presence in our lives this new year renew our spirits and renew our strength. May it be a good year. May it be a sweet year. The Shana Tova Tekatevu may be inscribed for a good year. Let's see what happens.
Tekiah Gedola. Yes,
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Good singing with you. Not